Here I am, and there you are. There I am, and here you are. Wishing you peace and prosperity, especially in this day, which I call Tahuti Day. Tahuti is also called Woden Day, or Wednesday. In the Germanic English language is Woden, translated to Wednesday, or Hermes Day in Greek, or Mercury in Rome. Day of business, commerce, intelligent thinking. Tahuti, the Mizraim, also called Egyptian god of wisdom, of astronomy, business, reading, anything that have to do with the intellect. Tahuti. Now I'm coming to you in peace, prosperity in this day. And I'm having a salutation, hold out a libation to Amun Ra. Amun Ra. Amun Ra. Tahuti. My mother, late mother Ernestine Collins Johnson. My father, Benjamin Johnson. Elijah Muhammad. Earl G. Grave, the founder of Black Enterprise Magazine. John H. Johnson, founder of Ebony Magazine. Booker T. Washington. Ed Lewis, who purchased Beatrice, who was the first Black billionaire. Madam C.J. Walker. All of those that went before Charles R. Smith. I'll tell you about Charles R. Smith, who founded a manufacturing company. I think this is for prosperity, your prosperity. Start businesses in America, in Africa, globally. This is for prosperity. Right now, prosperity. And I wanted to show you a picture of Charles R. Smith in 1955. He started, let me see, it's from Ebony Magazine of 1955. And this is Charles R. Smith, who started a business. This is his business in Chicago. Then he moved it to Michigan. That's just a brief idea of the day, a business day. But my main topic is that we are Mizraims. We here, foundational or the original Black American, are Mizraims from what is now called Egypt. In the Bible, in Israel, the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, it reads, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, And they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. That sounds like black crime there. That sounds like black crime. That's Isaiah the 19th. That sounds like what we are doing, killing each other, violence. Now, in 1601, King James became a Mason in Scotland. He was the king of Scotland. He was King James the First. And then he became King James the Sixth when he became also King of England. 1604, he commissioned Sir Francis Bacon, another Mason of the Masonic order, a Grand Master Mason, to interpret the Bible according to his plan. He had a plan going on to make an Egypt in the West. So in 1604, commissioned Sir Francis Bacon to interpret the Bible, another Mason. 7 years later, in 1611, it was completed, the interpretation of the Bible. 9 years later, black or Mizraim people, it was a mystery of where they came from, but I surmise they came from England. They came over to America as indentured servants. And this is going to the Masonic plan to build an Egypt, make it America. Wasn't called America then, the second Egypt. And it's amazing that he was the king, the same one who wrote the Bible interpreted. In his version, he was a Mason. He was the same one that presided over what was later to be called the United States. That sent so-called slaves after the original in 1619 to Jamestown, Virginia. Many came from Jamestown in Ghana. So he had his print all over. The sending of Mizraims. We were Mizraims. Many of us scattered from what was later called Egypt to the west, to Ghana and other places, especially to Ghana, the Gold Coast, where we came from the land called Egypt. And even the Ghanaians now have stories of them originating, many of them originated from Egypt, what was called Mizraims and Kemet. So it's no wonder that there was the year of return and it was successful. And you know that Kafua, who is the highest ranking black man in the Masonic order, in the regular lodges of England, the highest ranking is a Ghanaian. So that return of 400 years, I surmise is a Masonic command or order. They had they print all over it. So I said that to say that this, we, the original Black Americans, I say Black Americans during the 1619, there were other people sent, black people sent to the West from Africa long before 1619. But 1619 was the Masonic plan, the idea of us building America. The Mizraims built the Capitol building, built the White House. They were the ancestors of people from Africa. They were the ancestors of people from Ghana that originally came from Ghana and other places, Benin, Niger, all along the West Coast, and even some on the East Coast and in the Central, the Congo and so forth. But we was especially selected. That's why less than 500,000 people were sent from Africa to America, because we was especially selected. That's why so few actually came to be enslaved, not to, in America, that were enslaved in America. But I said, the 400 years was up. And the Bible is like a plan, a blueprint of what was to take place. And so the stimulus package that was sent out to Americans, that's the reparation money that belonged to us, all of it. White, the Asian, and the Hispanic should not have gotten any of that stimulus package. That $2 million or $3 trillion, that was supposed to be our reparation that went out to the stimulus. And that's to stem the plague. It would be more plague. Now, stimulus, reparation have to come to us, not as the stimulus package, but what rightfully belonged to us. And we shall get it. And not to go out to everyone. We, the Mizraims, the original people, Black Americans, since 1619. And that is the truth. And that's why the day that's called Wotan Day, Wotan in the English grammatic, that was their god of Mercury, and the noise up there, Norse, called it Odin. But we, the Mizraim, and the stamp and seal that is Tahuti Day. We claim it as the day of Tahuti, god of commerce, wisdom, of intellect. So we will get our reparation, or else there'll be more plague upon America, and not in the form of a stimulus package that's going out to everyone. Because we was sent here with a purpose. And we shall go back many of us to Africa. And some Africans say, well, they don't need anybody help in building up Africa. Foolish person that they are. They trying to have the Chinese to help, which is no friend of Africa. China is set to be doomed. China is no friend of Africa, and they shall be chased out of Africa. But we, sons and daughters of Africa and of Mizraim, are from the Most High, we have a job to do, build businesses, commerce, trade. That's why I honored John H. Johnson, founder of Ebony Magazine, Ed Lewis, one of the first black billionaire in America, Earl G. Grave of Black Enterprise Magazine, Booker T. Washington will emphasize industry and trade. Madam C.J. Walker, one of the few millionaires of her time, and could go on and on and on. So this is the time of your prosperity. Start a business. Make a plan, a solid vision, globally in Africa as well as in America. And so it is. Wish you prosperity in the day, Tahuti Day.